Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Abel Sanchez, the trainer of Gennady Golovkin. Of course, right behind us is the Casino Monte Carlo, and we're in Monaco as Gennady Golovkin fights this weekend on HBO against a very tough opponent in Martin Murray, a guy that by many accounts people feel that he's an uncrowned champion in the middleweight division. Give me your thoughts on that certain subject, because I know he had those two fights which a lot of people felt he won. So talk to me about how you feel him coming in sizes up compared to the other opponents.
You know, I watched both of those fights without any sound, and he definitely beat both of those guys. But he knows that, or he knew going into those countries that he has to knock somebody out in order to win. Here, it's a neutral ground. Here, it's closer to his country than it is to where Gennady trains or where Gennady lives. So I think he'll have a fair share here if it goes the distance. We're fighting a difficult guy. We're fighting a big guy, a big middleweight that possesses a lot of skills.
You know, looking at his size and kind of trying to translate it into power, is it any different than what Gennady faced in Rubio given size and power, or is this guy you feel more powerful than the most recent guys that he's fought?
No, I feel this guy is more fresh.
Yeah.
He's a fresher individual because he hasn't had the wear and tear that Rubio or even, let's say, Daniel Gill had numerous title defenses. So it kind of gets I'm going to say boring, but it kind of gets monotonous after a while for some of these guys. A lot of times they lose because they lose interest. Martin is hungry. Martin proved that he's hungry by going to South Africa for 6 weeks and getting away from his kids, doing the necessary thing to make sure that he gives himself the best chance at winning.
You know, coming here to Monaco, it's kind of, you said neutral ground, but still it's not home for Gennady. Gennady has a lot of fights over in the U.S., but does it change your guys' mentality at all fighting here? Do you guys have to fight maybe differently?
No, you know, Tom said it at the, I think it was Tom that said it at the, or Peter said it at the press conference, Peter Nelson from HBO, we'd fight on the moon. If there's a ring and there's a guy in front of us, we'd fight on the moon. Doesn't matter where. Once the lights go off and once they're in the ring and it's a referee and the two fighters, really they zone out. They hear the crowd, but it's the guy in front of them that makes the difference whether they're going to win or lose, not the crowd.
This whole week, how's Gennady been? Let me know what he's been doing, and really, how do you see him?
Really, we came here at 163. We left, I should say, we left Big Bear at 163. He's been running. We ran this morning. He's going to run again tomorrow morning. He's been eating well. So he's the usual Golovkin. He's a professional, you know, and that's the easiest part for me as a coach. I don't have to be watching every corner, make sure he's not hiding food from me, you know. So we have.
He's never done that ever?
No, not him. No, other fighters have.
Yeah,
you know that they have. But no, we bring a scale, our own scale, a calibrated scale to his room, and he checks his weight all the time. He's very. I'm not gonna say scared, but nervous or anything like that. But he's checking his scale.
He has like his superstitions.
Yeah.
Then
he checks his weight consistently to make sure that he is where he wants to be, so that hopefully Thursday morning we'll just take a light run and then dry out for the day and weigh in on time at 11. The
cut for him, it's still pretty easy then?
The weight cut?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he came into camp at 170 pounds. Yeah. Actually, he came into camp at a little under 170, and by the time we weighed him for like Klitschko does, he went up in weight. You know, like his body just got thicker and stronger. But when we weighed, I weighed him on Friday at the hospital in Big Bear, and they took pictures of it and everything, and he weighed 163 before we went to run. So he doesn't have a problem right now. He's 32 years old. I don't think he's ever going to have a problem, because once you get to this age, your body understands, and he understands. He understands what he needs to do. Now, to go down to 154, if we were to fight Floyd, it'd be difficult, but it's nothing that he hasn't. He's gotten real close, 158 in some fights, so it's just a matter of starting a couple weeks before on trying to cut the weight.
Now, looking at Martin Murray on really his past performances, you know, he is 32, but do you feel that he's had a lot more wars, and that maybe condition-wise that coming into the fight, it might catch up to him at all?
You know, I think the wars that he's had in the last couple, 3 fights have been motivation for him. No motivation for him. You know, when you fight somebody that you really can't get up for, it's just like when Gennady fought Adama here the last time. He was bored. Seriously, he was bored. Not take nothing away from Adama. He's a great fighter, but he just didn't feel like he had somebody in front of him that he had to. If you remember in the fight a couple times, he's kind of looking at how he's throwing his hook, you know, to make sure it's correct, and that's something he does in the gym. But Martin has motivated him. Martin is a guy that he's taken very, very seriously. Not that he hasn't taken anybody else seriously before, but when you have a guy with only one loss and it's a disputed loss, and only one draw and it's a disputed draw, you have to be ready mentally and physically, and he is.
I can't wait on Saturday night. It's going to happen with our beautiful backdrop right here behind us, you guys. We're here in Monte Carlo, Monaco with Abel Sanchez, Marcos Villegas, closing out this interview.